So as you can see, we've got Starcraft 2 pulled up here. We'll debunk after Starcraft 2, but I definitely want to play this with progress only. And I believe you have some stuff to talk about while you're here too, right?
Yeah, I'll get started. I'll start off with who I am and everything.
Okay.
My name's Alex from Michigan. I've lived in this little town of Bay City for my entire life, 30 years. I'm currently the runner of the largest non-party political page in the county, which, considering the city is only 30,000 people, I consider that something. I I work actually at a car dealership in the back office as an accountant, so I don't do anything in that field for activism outside of just my volunteer time. I do have I it was mentioned during the pre-show on Sunday that I have a kid who's actually I get my unit assigned here who is an IVF child, and in Michigan's one of the states that has a black book law that bans all abortions, no exceptions. And through IVF, there's a lot of selective reduction process after fertilization. So you have to do a lot of removal of fertilized eggs to get to a safe number and make sure that they're all healthy. So in Michigan, if Roe actually gets overturned, and I'm not able to get that stopped, then I will not be able to have another child because of issues I have uh, in reproductive health.
Absolutely insane situation. I don't really fully understand why it is that IVF it would be banned if abortion is banned, but I have come to understand that that's the case. Do you know
Yeah,
anything
so it
about
it,
that?
it, it depends on the state. If there's a week cutoff in the state still, it'll still be allowed. But if you're going to, let's like Texas is 6 weeks, so technically that'd be allowed because even at 14 days past fertilization, that's about where the 6 week line is in Texas's law. But in
Right.
Michigan's Black Book law, which was written in 1931, before we really had that much research into it, there's a lot of issue with interpretations of total ban. You can't have anything, including fertilization services. So it's mostly into the states that have the Black Books laws from pre 1973 that are being affected by that.
Right. Interesting. And where do you live again? Which state is it?
Michigan, if you open up your left hand with the palm facing out, I'm in the curve where your thumb and your index finger kind of meet down at the bottom.
Okay, interesting. So how is it living in Michigan generally? Is it okay or no?
I'm I live close to my parents, which I don't have the greatest relationship with. But I mean, the big plus of living here is cost of living. Like I live in a town 90 minutes from Detroit, which is pretty large town, and my
Right.
house right now, even after the last 2 years, is still only valued at $80,000. I'm able to walk into this house thinking. So
Wow,
like,
that's crazy.
housing prices here are extremely low, and if there's anyone listening who needs a nice progressive area to live in, I will definitely help you with it.
That's awesome actually. Surprising. $80,000 houses.
Yeah, I actually bought this one in 2013. This one for 40, and it was
Right?
moving ready.
That is nuts. How are you doing on StarCraft?
Uh, well, I grew up playing Brood War like almost exclusively in terms of
Right.
StarCraft. Like I didn't get this till 2014, so I was late to the game and didn't really jump into it that much. So learning some of the controls was kind of clumsy.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like
You have to be
StarCraft. I grew up playing Brood War also, uh, and it took a little bit of getting used to, but now it's hard to get used to playing Brood War again because it's so incredibly different. It's just so different. Like it's like the units don't move together properly, and
Yeah,
it's just crazy.
line tracing in Brood War, because it was only like 128 max width in terms of the game direction.
Yeah.
Everything went in like single file.
Yep. And it sucked. It was really, really. I mean, it didn't suck at the time. I seemed to do okay with it at the time, but now, my God, dude, is it hard to get used to?
In fact, we used to play. My parents owned a Christian radio station in town from like '93 to '06, and
Right?
sold it off to K Love. Um, but
K Love. Wow. Yeah. Go on.
But we actually had an issue the one time because we did LAN parties with 8 people playing at the same time at the radio station, where
Right.
we didn't mask the Starcraft sounds from going through live on air at like 2
Oh
in the
no.
morning. And we had some lady calling saying that our station was possessed by the devil because our pastor, who was actually a Southern Baptist pastor, was playing Zerg over the air live.
Oh
So
my
all
God,
the
that's
all the
funny.
gurgling, croaking sounds, it was just like in hindsight, it's hilarious, but at the time, it's like, oh crap, that's not
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, big deal. That's pretty funny though. God, I bet people got real upset over that.
Yeah, and when we rented the back part, because it was actually in what was an old church when they bought that building, we actually rented the church back to someone who wanted to run a church, and there's only one direction to get down to where the old bathrooms were because the church was like 1895, so like
Right.
plumbing did not go up to the first floor. It was all underground in that building, and there were bats because it's an old church who would hang on the banner that we had outside the studio
Right.
to note our entrance. And they would always like say that the devil is coming because you have bats at your doorstep. It was just hilarious. Oh, here come the bots.
I'm getting some too. Let's see if my defenses hold. I'm not used to um, this map.
This map is so much easier to if you're playing casually to just hold on because you don't need to worry
Right.
about basic condition as much.
Yeah,
And there's
it
actually
reminds me of a lot of the like maps that I used to play on Brood War. Like fast minerals and everything. I used to do
yeah,
this all the time back in the day.
the only thing this doesn't have is there's a mod version of this where like uh, every resource drop is worth 10 times value, which is
That's
way too much.
crazy.
That makes the game way too easy because the bots can't figure it out.
Right.
Stuff going. Upgrade.
I'm actually very impressed with StarCraft 2, though. I honestly
Well,
think it's a phenomenally well-made game.
they had 15 years to get it right, so it's nice that they could actually do that. Because that was a big joke. Is that we're gonna come out with StarCraft 2 like 2004, 2005, and then
Right.
they pass it off, and then they did the merger with Activision. So it's like, well, what you gonna do?
Right.
Also, I've never been good at playing Terran for turtling. Like, never been good at turtling as playing Terran. Like Zerg, I can kind of rush. Terran, I just kind of get collapsed on because I'm so used to the Protoss hiding in the corner and building.
Right. I wasn't super sure I was going to play Terran, actually, but then the game started, and I was like, well, guess I'm playing Terran. I was thinking about it. I wasn't super sure, because the game that I played to prepare for this, I played Terran on that, and so I was used to it. It was probably best that I play Terran, you know. Oops.
I would
I
have
didn't
also done
loot.
Warcraft 3, but they took my they took my old. I can't play the old version I have anymore because the key is no longer valid when they did the update into BattleNet. So I can't play
Really?
Warcraft 3 anymore. Yeah. So
That
I'd have
sucks.
to pay $50 to play a 15-year-old game. I'm like, you know what? How about no?
That's a shame. Yeah, I used to play um like StarCraft 1 and Brood War all the time on the Oh, you know what? Hang on. Give me a second. Let's see. I should turn on some music. They can't hear any music. Sound master volume. There it is. Just set it to 25 probably. Perfect. Anyways, is that too loud? Maybe I should turn it down a little. I think I should. Turn it down to like 10
Research
or something.
complete.
Okay. Yeah, anyway, I used to, wait, what was I saying? Oh, yeah, I used to play StarCraft 1 and Brood War on BattleNet all the time back in the day, you know, log in and play used map settings. I don't know if you ever played that.
Yeah. Like there's a lot of like I remember there was like an X-Men in School one, which was in hindsight really poorly made because it essentially glorified school shootings. But
Right? I didn't even remember that one.
When you're age 7, you go, oh, X-Men in School, and you just go, wait a minute, what are we doing?
Right.
Like bad taste.
I know, right? There was a lot that was bad taste back then, like in retrospect.
Yeah.
But I played Archon Tag. I don't know if you remember Archon Tag. That was popular for a while. That's a cool one.
We did a lot of the tower base defense ones, which was very rudimentary then, because almost everything like is siege tanks are the top for everyone. Well, siege tanks blow up everything else, so that was
right. Very nice. Looks like my defense is held. That's awesome.
I don't know who's over there.
I'm gonna move my SCVs in and get them ready to repair stuff. Awesome. Got a surprising number of viewers today. What?
If you want, we can get to the part with the Twitter poll. I actually had one person respond, but I do have subject matter related to it.
Okay.
So like religious history in terms of like my family's religious history, because it's kind of tricky.
Right.
Oh, I got someone attacking me. I am related to the last person burned at the stake for heresy in England.
Really? Holy shit.
Yes. Their name, make sure I wrote all this down, make sure I had everything right, was Ed Whiteman, 1612. In a memoir that was done with research from Princeton University a couple years ago, there's a quote for it. He's usually been dismissed. His anti-Trinitarian speculations seem to be a product of a deranged mind. Close study of his surviving trial records, however, revealed that Whiteman was a leading member of the godly clique in his hometown of Burton-upon-Trent, and that he had very similar ideas to the Bartholomew Legate, another anti-Trinitarian who was burned at the stake just a few weeks before him. So, he was very much anti-Church of England, which,
right.
more power, but that led to his family in a couple decades leaving England and actually settling on Rhode Island with the first settlers to Rhode Island.
Right.
Colonized Rhode Island. He was the lead priest with the group, George Whiteman, and from there they started moving into into what's now the United States. And my 9th great grandmother was Martha Carrier, who was one of the women hung at the Salem witch trials.
That is absolutely nuts, dude. Why is your family so notorious for witch-related activities? I'm suspicious.
It's kind of bizarre, but that's the part of the family that split off, and that's the Ingalls Wilder family, the Little House on the Prairie. That's that family,
right?
But that's a different portion of the family, so I'm not close enough to get like royalties or anything. But that part of the family split off from there and went west.
That is absolutely nuts, man. My family is from Wales on my mom's side and Native American, and also my dad is Native American and Scottish, heavily Native American, heavily enough that it's on my birth certificate for both parents. Technically, they messed it up and put 1/2 Native American on my birth certificate. That is actually incorrect, but I am very Native American.
Oh, you have that here in Michigan too, where people say, "Oh yeah, I'm definitely Native," and you go to the tribes, and they're like, "No, you're not. You have like 4 generations missing. You're not even close."
Right.
But the other part of my mother's family is founders of Frankenmuth in Michigan, called Little Bavaria. There's billboards for the Christmas Wonderland honors all over the freaking country, and it's essentially, I consider it a mecca for the evangelical Lutheran community. Like, it's strange how much people worship that place, and they're very cringy.
Right.
The only thing cool on my father's side is there was a fight for a false accusation of child fiddling in like 1890 in my town between the Polish Catholics. And they actually had a fight, almost a street war, that the National Guard had to get called in to split the church up.
They split the church up because of that, you said?
Yes. Yeah. St. Stanislaus Kostka Catholic Parish in Bay City, which is on
Wow,
Kosciuszko
they
Avenue,
actually did something about it. Surprising.
Everything's Polish. This is like 1904, 1905. The National Guard got called in because they were essentially fighting each other in the streets of the town, and they decided to just break the church. The Catholic Church said, "You know what? We're gonna split this up." And the second group, St. Hyacinth's, is where the old pastor went. And it turned out that it was all because of essentially xenophobia of second generation.
That is nuts, man.
They determined there was no kid fiddling. It was just the second generation of immigrants were upset that the first generation changed their roots from the way that things were done in Poland. So they accused them of child fiddling and try to take the church over. That obviously didn't work.
Right. That is crazy, man.
Good news, my carriers are up just in time.
So what do you got going on? What's your... Oh, God, I see them all now. How many carriers do you have?
I am maxed out, so that's 28. 28
Jesus
carriers
Christ.
maxed me out.
I got a late start because I'm not familiar with this map, so I just built a defense and stuff. So far I'm not at 28, but I have 16 battle cruisers, or I'm 12 so far. I'm about to have 16.
You spread your base out a lot here, didn't you?
What is it?
You spread your base out a lot here, don't you? You have your production at the very tip. Wow.
Yeah, I did. I just don't know this map very well. Still kind of trying to figure it out, basically.
I got 2 observers tagging along.
By the by, Shapeshifter says, I'm part German, French, Native American on my mom's side. I'm also related to some famous bluegrass singers. That's pretty cool.
Now, I've gotten to meet some, quotations, famous Christian rock influencers in my time. The lead singer of Skillet, John Cooper, came to town New Year's 2001, right when the Alien Youth album dropped. We were actually the first station that got to hear that, and did like a New Year's Eve lock-in. Originally, we were supposed to get like some smaller band the year before, but that was Y2K, and the churches were like calling up the radio station saying the world was going to end, so my dad canceled it. They actually put a PSA spot on the air with the air raid siren essentially mocking them, which was fun.
Right? That is funny. Yeah, Skillet is massively popular in the Christian community. I don't know them. I've never listened to them before, but I know of them. A lot of people talk about them.
They're the closest thing to a mainstream rock group that has any relevance in normal society.
Right.
Even though he is... John Cooper is actually a piece of shit.
Is he?
Like, oh yeah, he's very misogynist. Like, his wife's in the band, but essentially he controls his wife and wants men to do the same. Like, it's gross. All right,
that is
are we
so
ready?
sad, man. Yes.
Want to go this way
yeah,
first?
all right, we're ready. Sure, let's do it. Hold on, wait. Give me 1 second. Hang on, before we do you have an observer you can send in real quick?
Yeah, I have 2 of them.
All right, see if you can send one in covertly without it getting killed. And give it just a second. I just want to see what's ahead real quick. Okay, here we go. Should be right by their minerals here.
Upgrade complete.
Sweet. Okay, that works. Let's do it. I beat you in.
Oh, okay. wasn't ready for that.
I warped in. Sorry. Alright, let's see. I got a Raven that's just built. Let's see. Just scrolling through the chat here. Speaking of Christian rock, Stripers to Hell with the Devil jumped into my head, Lamau. Never heard of that one. That sounds terrible.
That song was such a lightning rod because it was like the first big Striper was the first big Christian rock band to go on any sort of station, and that song "To Hell with the Devil" got we're a Christian band, we don't like the devil. At the same time, you're calling the devil out on the radio, which was not something that people were okay with at the time.
Right.
Like that was very soon after the oh, look at that. That was very soon after a lot of problems with like Devil Went Down to Georgia. That song was an issue too for a lot of radio stations.
Right.
So it was
God,
really
Devil Went Down to Georgia is like such an incredibly popular song now, though, among like Christian evangelical types, you know.
It's really sad because our local station around here, my dad worked at right out of high school, and they got the uncensored version to play on record, and they had to destroy it.
Really?
Yes, they got first play, primetime first play was supposed to be a big release, and they had to can it.
That is nuts.
Because of son of a bitch.
Right?
Just, intensely hilarious in my book.
It is. People are like way too emotional over simple songs, you know.
Someone started the base here.
Our
Not for long.
Yeah, they attacked my defense, and it crippled my defense because I didn't have a strong defense anyway, so I had to send my battle cruisers back. Lucky for me, I have this tactical jump ability with these things, which is super useful. This is a huge map.
Yes,
crazy big.
We got a Terran player up here, and I'm gonna guess they expanded across because they saw the open map.
Right. Weird, it's a little laggy. My internet is really good. It shouldn't be laggy.
Mine shows 31 ping to the server. Oh, you got siege tanks at your base.
I do. I'm headed up to deal with them.
Right.
I'll take the base next to me since I've got the siege tanks hitting me. I should have built it better, but I was more focused on attacking rather than defending, you know. That's my problem. This is a really cool game, honestly. Like, a phenomenally good game, in my opinion, you know? Did I lose you? I didn't, did I?
No, I'm done here.
Okay.
Sorry, my phone decided the Twitch app decided to stop showing me updates to the chat, so I'm trying to get.
Oh, you're good.
It's just being stupid. That basically. What's a real shame is you can't like have mismatched team sizes really anymore with
Right.
Starcraft 2. So you can't really do a 1v7 as in everyone's going to go in the same direction. You have to split it up and do free for all, and hopefully they're smart enough to do stuff.
Right.
That you don't always get.
Awesome. I think we're
try.
looking good. That's about it.
We got that guy over here, and then wherever they've rebuilt, so we're gonna have to split forces to take care of that.
Here, I'll take the top left.
Okay. I'll split my forces and go south here.
Alrighty, sweet.
Try to cover all these bases at once.
Oh, headed out, Campanda. Thanks for coming. It's been awesome. Every day I'm more confused as DeSantis turns into as the saints turn into sinners, and the heroes of legends knew as a child have fallen. Yeah, I don't know the reference, but that sounds pretty deep. Wow.
Last
I
week,
feel
actually,
like
last week I was actually in our state capital, Lansing, for the public policy thing I'm part of. And I got to talk to my state senator one-on-one, which, you know, Michigan's is still a full-time legislature, which is not normal at state level.
right.
But you actually got to talk to him. And I told him about the IVF and fertility things and whatnot. You know, his big thing is he comes up, I'm a conservative farmer. So, you know, I know everything about farming and agriculture and all that stuff. And then I told him my situation, he just goes, oh, well, you know, if the fire, it's not actually a problem yet, so we don't need to worry about it until it's not a problem.
Wow,
And
really?
I am so glad that Michigan passed redistricting laws in 2018, because he is not going to be in my district anymore.
Jesus Christ, man.
All right, looks like we have orange left, and that's it.
I just hit their main base. I don't know where else they could be hiding.
Right there. Look at that.
Oh, there it is.
That's
They
gotta
keep
be
trying
it.
to send an SCV in, so I'm gonna guard the entrance for the moment.
I don't think I need to send these guys, but you know, whatever. You definitely have enough up there to finish that off.
Yeah, I think we're good to go. I think that's it. Well, no, they must. Oh, yeah, there you go. Nice.
Awesome.
All right, we actually have time for another game if you want to play one, but give me 1 second to catch up on subs and stuff real fast.
All right.
We're still in a party, right? Do you want to invite me to another?
Yeah, I'll do that. I do
All
have
right.
a fun fact if someone requested.
Okay, give me a second. Yeah, we do have a fun fact and a joke request.
All right. Fun fact: the first meeting of Theodore Roosevelt's Bull Moose Party happened in my hometown, right next to City Hall.
That is crazy. That fact was quite fun. All right, here's a joke. Did you hear about the butcher who backed into his meat grinder? He got a little behind in his work. Wow. All
Definitely
right,
before any sort of food safety regulations.
yeah. All right, give me a second here. Actually, I'm going to play as Protoss this time, I think. And,
Right.
yeah,
Was
okay.
that?
Now,
But I think that was a fine enough difficulty considering we're babbling.
yeah,
I think if we go any harder, we're gonna struggle.
yeah, I think that works for me. All right, let me just check through here. Tori Grimm, thank you for subbing. I appreciate that. Just along for the ride. Well, welcome. I see Super Nerd wanted to debunk something with me. We can plan possibly for next Tuesday. Depends on who's playing. Maybe next Tuesday, maybe the one after. We'll see. But follow me on Discord. At me on my Discord if you can, or on Twitter or something, and we'll connect for that. Kem Panda, thank you for resubbing. Scott Castles, also, thank you for subbing for 3 months. Falconis, thank you for the 100 bits. And Brugirl Energy. And Kawabo, thank you for subbing. Appreciate that, guys. That is awesome. Yeah. All right. I think I'm caught up. Sweet. Let's see. Just checking the chat. Kawabo, first-time chatter. SC2 is not optimized very well for multi-core CPU, so you easily get low frames when there's a lot going on. Yeah. And I have to play on my Mac. I can't play on my Windows computer. My Windows computer is designed for this, but the Mac not so much. So, I mean, the Mac works. It's okay. But
I mean, I don't know if you remember Brood War having the supply cap issues where the map would actually hit a limit of total units on. So if, like,
wait, I lost that last
carrier,
half. What was that?
If everyone, like, there's a supply cap on each, like, you had your normal supply or psi or whatever, but
right.
if you had too many units on the map, it would actually block you from building any more. So if everyone was playing Protoss and everyone was building carriers, it would cap you before you everyone hit max supply.
Really? I did not realize that. Yeah. Is that for Starcraft 2?
Unit limited speed. No, that was a Brood War thing. That was like a bug. And like the system resources would just... So, like, you'd have games where if you were slow out the gate, you get, like, 6 carriers and everyone else is blowing you up.
That's crazy. I had no idea.
Because
by the way, like, I'm ready when you
buildings are. Too. Right. It kind of buildings, too. So, like, everyone built defense, everyone turtles their way through. There's no unit supply left for the map.
Right. Such a good game, though, honestly. I've actually been playing through Brood War again. Original Starcraft and Brood War recently, going through the campaign, you know? Because there's, like, a lot of interesting stuff in, like a lot of interesting lore in the original campaign. Yeah, dude, it's been so long since I've played StarCraft 2, like, on just regular, like, that wasn't in the campaign, you know?
Yeah.
Or co-op. Been forever.
We're next to each other this time. That's nice.
Yeah, that's convenient. If one of us is dying, then we'll be okay.
Also means we don't have to defend the one side of the base very much, so we can get resources going right.
Right. I'm OCD. I have OCD, and as a result, I have to build my bases in a very specific way. Last time was very haphazard, but you'll see what I mean.
I have a pattern, but it's just because I'm so ingrained with this map. Like the other RTS game that we played was like Red Alert 2. Right before EA drove Westwood in this franchise into the ground, and I actually got, when they did the remaster of the original, I got the pack that it's so, like, when I go to the city meetings, I wear the Allies faction, and I have the FLAC audio quality music, or the, like, studio quality soundtrack from the game.
Right.
So, like, yeah, I'm glad I have a computer that can actually handle that, because not all computers that build in sound cards are able to do it still.
Yeah.
But, like, Red Alert had a much better soundtrack than StarCraft. But the fact that they just kept putting out sequels for Command & Conquer Red Alert that were subpar just kind of killed it in terms of replayability online.
Yeah, I never
Everything
did
through
play
EA's
Red
Origin.
Alert. I remember Red Alert, but I never did play it.
Red Alert 3 was an absolute meme because Tim Curry was the Soviet premier.
Tim Curry was what?
The Soviet premier. George Takei was the
Really?
Japanese emperor. Yes. Like
Oh,
there's
that's
a clip
funny,
of it.
dude.
It's like, I'm going to the one place that hasn't been corrupted by capitalism. And there's like a 5-second pause, and then the Tim Curry face, big smile, space, and it's like the best meme because it's just completely ridiculous. And he knew it was ridiculous. And like John Ackerman was a president, U.S. president now. Like they got star power in for the clips. Just the game was just not as good.
That's funny, man.
Tab up.
Build time feels like it's been increased on this game too a little bit. I don't know, maybe it's just me.
Oh. Would help last time if I started the geyser like 4 or 5 minutes.
Right?
Yeah, I was,
Oh,
like,
did
way
you just
behind.
build one?
No, the first game I was like really fun. Like, oh crap, I gotta catch back up.
Alright, sweet. I think I'm doing pretty well so far.
The radio station that my dad had we were actually like one of the largest independent radio Christian rock stations through the late '90s and early 2000s.
Really? Your
Even though we're
dad
in a-
owned it or
Yeah,
just worked
yeah,
on it?
he owned it. Like there was his baby. He ran it as a nonprofit though, so we didn't have to pay anyone anything. Which in hindsight, yes, dick move. And based off of how I think of him now, yeah, definitely dick move. But like we had a listenership of like 25,000 in a market of 250, which is pretty good for radio.
Right?
Because he sold right before internet radio. Like he sold in 06, and Last FM started to become popular right then, and that's when like online radio actually took off. So he got out right at the like peak of the market.
That is crazy.
But like he was getting invites to go to the Dove Awards in Nashville to do the behind the scenes interviews with people. We got to actually go to the Six Flags in Darien Lake, New York. It was a Six Flags, then it wasn't. Now it is again because they bought the property back.
Yeah.
We actually went there for an event called Kingdom Bound, and we got those really cringy T-shirts every year with like phrases or swiped intellectual property stuff. Like super cringy things.
Right? That's
To
actually
listen
the
to and
shit
get
that he
my stuff
owned
in
it.
concert.
Say again?
We had to like take notes and write up articles and just for Forefront Records, which is the real only major player in the time for
Right.
Christian music label. Now Atlantic does most of the work.
That is nuts. My parents didn't really... They just kind of survived their whole lives. Like, my dad worked at this machine plant, I think, for a while before I was born. And then when I was born, he was, like, trying to repair computers. He owned his own business repairing computers. And he did that for a long, long time. Eventually, he got in a car accident and couldn't work anymore, and he got Social Security. SSD, Social Security Disability.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and then we moved to West Virginia when I was like 8 or something like that. And my mom worked at like a call center basically for the next like 5 years or something like that. Eventually, we lived off Social Security basically my entire life for the most part. But
I definitely came from what would be considered a modicum of privilege, living in a town, cheap housing, incomes are lower, but like because the housing's cheap, it offsets it a little bit. But our city is so bad at marketing itself. They always had the same people from like the 1970s, almost double the size.
Well,
Like basically, it was almost 60,000 people at one point. Saginaw was over 100.
I would say I am in a position of privilege now too, and I think our responsibility is to make sure that we try to support those who aren't.
Yeah, and like that's one of the things that made me get into politics. Like I grew up in, of course, evangelical household because radio station.
Yeah,
Like went to Southern Baptist churches, but Pentecostals were freaky.
yeah. Tell me
Um,
about it.
yeah. So like I grew up in that lifestyle in that political mindset, and I went to a conservative college. Like Hillsdale makes the news, but Northwood does damage.
Right.
My school, Northwood, they just had Betsy DeVos be the keynote speaker at
Oh
their
my
commencement
God.
this year. Oh yeah, because
That's
we're in
insane.
Michigan. She's a big shot in Michigan.
Oh, is she a Michigander?
Yep, she's from the Grand Rapids area. Her family owns the Amway scam. The uh, marketing. Yeah, I remember. Yeah, pyramid scheme.
Did not know that. Interesting.
And they like in Midland, which is where Dow Chemical is located, which is 20 miles from me.
Right.
There is a policy center called the Mackinac Institute for Public Policy that is essentially the Libertarian Party of Michigan under the mask of Republicans. Like it's rough trying to do anything in Midland without the approval of Dow or with the approval of one of that policy institute.
Fucking sucks, man. I can't stand how Christianity and corporations have like taken control of things, Really sucks. Yeah, I guess I don't need to build like a base, or I'm sorry, like defenses next to
Defense
you.
line on the one side, yeah. 'Cause
Assuming
at
you're not
medium,
going to attack me.
I can't in this mode.
Okay.
Like I could force attack, but it would not. It would be very difficult.
Yeah, I actually played Starcraft 2 with somebody like for years ago. Years ago I played it with them, and they were my ally, and they force attacked me and killed me, and it was just like the shittiest thing ever. Like, why do that?
Like that was one of the fun things in Brood War, though. You could pull up the alliance screen, and it would let you just go. You know what? I'm done with you. Bye, and you could be in their base, deselect the ally, and then you're just gone.
Right?
Like
I remember that. That was such a good game. I honestly wish they would remake a lot of the cool features that they had in that game with this engine,
They brought the graphics back to this game. You could buy for the low price of a brand new game. Get the original graphics package with StarCraft 2. But
the original graphics package. What do you
yeah,
mean?
so it would look like Brood War, but it would be StarCraft 2. Like they
Really?
would pull everything. Yes.
I did not know that.
There's also the chibi version where everyone's like the cute hand drawn things. Like
The cartoon thing.
Yeah.
I got the
very
cartoon
similar
cover. The cartoon one, I think, cost like $10 or $15 or something. I don't remember now, but yeah, I did get the cartoon like skin or whatever, and it was really cool, honestly. But I feel like I went back to StarCraft to enjoy it, and it was like nostalgia. I'm not playing it because it's a really good graphics engine or good game engine or whatever. It's really hard to play, honestly. So I just kind of dropped the cartoon skin because I just want to play with, I want to play the original game, basically.
Yeah. Problem with being in the corner here is that the choke point's narrower, so my defense thing up front is really bad.
Yeah. I was dealing with that, too, a little bit. Carrier has arrived.
Remember from the first game, our enemies are legion, and still you procrastinate.
Right? Oh, yeah,
Like,
you probably
risk
know
of
this,
awful.
but if you continually click on characters over and over again, then they'll say different things. Like
Yeah.
they get frustrated with you and stuff. It's kind of funny.
The big joke one from original Warcraft was the orc saying "Stop poking me," and in Brood War, the protest hero Alteris, he actually said that after a while. You kept putting it in,
Really?
and he would go, "Stop poking me,"
That's
or
funny.
the protest observer would actually have an orc talk into it for a second.
Oh, that's funny, man.
Got to give the fans what they want.
Right? Such a good game, for real. Like, even Brood War was such a good game, man. It's just the graphics were so hard to get used to, you know?
Yeah, the first time you open it up in a modern-ish monitor and you go, wow, I can taste the pixels.
Right? Yeah. For real.
Okay, it looks like
It's
we have
bad. 3
Protoss, and then there's somebody else out in the Nether.
All right, well, you want to head in?
Yeah, I'm going to leave a couple carriers back, though, because I don't have the defenses to hold this time.
Okay. I can probably leave some carriers, too, so if there's some issue, then I can send mine in, too.
I got those, and I'll have 4 here at the base. That'll be good.
All right, I've got 4 at my base, too. So I think we're good to go.
Which way you want to head?
Let's see. Why don't we head top middle?
Yes, I remember that, Sengir. I remember that. This is not Warcraft in space, even though it literally was Warcraft in space.
Oh, that's funny, man. I was just about to read that, too. Let's see. Just scrolling through. Okay, no more highlighted messages.
Oh, hey, you found the invasion force. Cool.
Yes.
I'll take care of everything else, because there's nothing in the base now.
Okay, perfect. I'll head to the one top right. Uh-oh. There's another invasion force coming at me. I'm good. Purple, or pink. I guess it's pink. It's coming for me.
I think my favorite voice line was the battle cruiser, because he sounded like, a posh British dude. And he's like, I really have to go #1. Like I'm like 9 years old, so like it's funny as hell.
Right? I was about 9 also. How old are you now?
I'm 30. Born in 91. Like I started playing the games way too early, considering the background, but because they played the LAN parties once a month at the radio station, I got to go and play. I was very bad for a very long time. Until I beat my dad, and then he was pissed.
Say again.
Once we figured out how to beat my dad at his own game, like there's a really easy way to counter the carriers. You just have to spend some time in Brood War, but once you do that, it's an easy victory. And when he figured out that we knew how to do that, he got really pissed and he really stopped playing this game for a while.
Oh, that's funny. I'm gonna head there. Do you want to head to this one, and then we'll meet right here?
The corner. All right.
Awesome.
Oh, I left the supply depot. We'll take care of that.
I forgot to upgrade. Damn it.
Upgrade what?
Just my attack, my air attack and stuff.
Oh, oh, so the interceptors do almost nothing.
Well, I upgraded mostly. I was missing 2 upgrades. I think.
There's one. There are the siege tanks.
God, I got distracted. Do you want to head on down to that one?
I gotta take care of this.
Oh, okay.
First.
I've got you. I'm coming in with mine also. Awesome. We're good. Perfect. God, they really took out your defenses there, huh?
Oh yeah. Well, the problem is I sent my carriers up to the corner to drop a supply depot I missed, and I did that and wasn't really paying attention to what I was doing on my base. Ooh, don't need all that shit.
This is the one that just attacked you, so they didn't have much of an attack force. And even their attack force was just siege tanks, so it would have been useless against my carriers. Alright, I'm headed over to this. Ooh, we got pink. I'd be willing to bet that... wait, how many players are we playing against? 4?
4, because it doesn't let you do co-op with uneven teams.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah.
I'd be willing to bet we could probably do insane.
We could drop six.
I don't know about insane, but maybe more powerful than this.
Could do insane without talking.
Right.
Alright, got it. Some going there, some going here.
Oh, wow. Just like that. Boom, boom, boom.
Wow.
Very nice. That was awesome.
I'm surprised that they didn't rebuild yet.
I know. That was pretty good. That was a good game.
Oh, you clipped me on score this time.
Oh, did I?
Yeah.
Oops. I hit the wrong button.
I don't... Oh. I thought you said oops, like, I'm sorry. Like, no, don't.
Well, it's a little bit late to play another round, but we could probably do... I'll tell you what, if you want, next week we could do another round, just one round like this. Would you want to do that on Tuesday, or is that... Would that work?
It would have to be afternoon, because, like, I'm skipping work.
Okay, all right, well, why don't we do one more round, just 2v2? Would that work?
Yeah, we can do that. Let me get into that.
All right. I'm not sure if you've...
I'll drop him one too. That way it's not quite as not quite as bad.
Yeah, I'll go with Protoss again. Perfect.
Lock alliances. Everything's good. Drop this quick.
Not sure if you've tried the co-op part of SC2. It's really fun. You pick a commander. Oh, yeah. I've played the shit out of co-op. I have a massively high score on co-op. Like, it's maxed out on co-op.
See, my problem is I always do single player. I hate getting a rando and either me being the one who has no idea what's going on or them not knowing what's going on. And
right.
Get pulled down with that.
Oops. Oh, my God. What did I just do? I did not mean to do that. What the hell just happened? I think I accidentally warped all of my probes to my thing by accident. But anyways, yeah, I know what you mean, but at this point I'm so used to co-op that I can do it on my own, like without the help of anybody. So if they suck, it's fine. But yeah, I love co-op, man. Co-op is awesome.
I just saw a comment. Maryland's governor is an epic S-head. Yeah, well, he was okay on COVID for like the first 6 months. Then he started getting pressure because he wants to continue being a Republican. Like, I'm lucky to have a governor who's, not terrible, but they're not great either. Like, Michigan's legislature has been gerrymandered to hell and back the last 20 years, and we're finally going to be able to somewhat fix that. But they just, like, they get a chance to do something, and they usually just don't. And that is really frustrating.
Yeah, politics is a train wreck right now. It's very, very disappointing. I'm really unhappy with the state of U.S. politics right now. But, I mean, what can you do, right? Just strap in and enjoy the ride, because there's absolutely nothing else to be done.
I bitch about it and get yelled at by my city commissioners for saying I'm trying to. Like the one actually said, you're kind of a shadow commissioner. I'm like, I don't be a shadow commissioner. You guys do shit. Like,
right.
That's there's not enough action because they just leave on anything else. Because like Michigan has Lansing has the toughest term limits in the country. You can serve 3 terms in the House, which is 2 years apiece, and then 2 terms in the Senate, and then you cannot serve in Lansing ever again.
Really, that's interesting. Okay.
Oh yeah, it was a reform from the '90s that's really hashed out very poorly, and
right.
We're gonna have a ballot measure now this year, where they're gonna change it where you can serve up to 12 years, so cutting 2 years, but you can serve it in whatever chamber you want. So, because like I want to say 2016 term, the Speaker of the Michigan House was a first-term representative, no experience at all. So they're looking to, prevent that from happening again.
Right.
And with that, they're going to have the bare minimum financial disclosures for politicians. Michigan's one of 2 states that does not have political disclosures for finance contributions. So they're going to, finally have the bare minimum for saying, hey, you made money from this person. And
right.
Yes, I did. Like right now in Michigan, you don't have to disclose that. It's
very
bad.
I don't know if you heard, but Ted Cruz recently got the Supreme Court to rule on a case for him that I don't remember exactly what it was. It allows politicians to use their campaign contributions to pay off personal loans, I think. Which is the biggest
that's the Donald
thing.
Trump thing. That's because
he
said, because I did everything off the loans. I loaned myself my campaign money, which he really didn't, at least from what we can tell.
Yeah, so the Supreme Court just ruled that for Ted Cruz, and I don't know, or for somebody. Maybe it was like Ted Cruz and Trump. I thought Cruz was involved somehow, but I'm not sure how exactly. But anyway, it's just messed up, man. Absolutely messed up.
Good news is we shouldn't need defenses really on easy.
Yeah, that's what I figured.
Like, I'll build my pylons, but that'll be it. Which we actually called pythons back in the day for some unknown reason.
Did you? That's funny. I'm building stuff I don't even need just because I'm OCD about it. The way that I have this set up, I basically build every single building in one pylon. And then I have a set of 3 pylons for like...
So you're someone where if you're playing against actual people, they'll drop the pylon, kill your workers, and you're toast. You have just a dead building.
That's right. And that's why I don't play with people, or I don't play against people. I never ever play against anybody. It's only ever the AI or co-op or whatever. Co-op is the shit. Awesome. Yeah, it's perfect. It's perfectly aligned. Everything, it's just in a little square or like a diamond shape.
You are besieged.
Oh, am I? I wasn't even paying attention.
It said there's like 2 Zergs.
Oh, okay. Awesome.
Gonna get a dozen of these and these carriers out and start. Oh, there's some to me. And start doing some running so that I don't take up too much time because I want to be fair to everyone and everything.
Right. No, we're good. I wouldn't sweat it. We can play to the end of this one. Oops. Alright, awesome. Let's see. After Telltale and Progress Only are done, I'm going to go. Can't handle fundies today. My mental health's taking a hit. Oh, I understand, Blue Phoenix. That happens. No sweat.
When you tested the Discord today, I sent you that thing from Copeland. I'm like, I know he can't play that. I know he can't play that because somebody copyrighted that. But that was some good shit.
Yeah, that is funny. Kenneth Copeland remix.
Like a rat beat. I am COVID-19.
Yeah. There was a guy that played a metal song over it. I don't remember his name, but he had an on-point video too. It was really good.
I really didn't get into the atheism YouTube thing until I started working at a dealership because I work in the back office. So, I work in an office again and I have wireless earbuds for the first time. I can do that, kind of on the side. So I watch almost everything on YouTube at double speed like a monster.
Right. Me too.
But
I do the same.
Like I peeled into pretty much all the big names that are active, like from Seth Andrews. I think the smallest channel I do is Guts at Gibbon.
Oh yeah, Guts at Gibbon. Yeah, I know.
I think Skeptic's.
Skeptic is pretty cool. I met him too recently.
He's from Kentucky now.
Oh
Which I
yeah,
thought was
I know.
hilarious.
He lived in Britain, right? And
Yeah,
now he lives in
yeah.
Kentucky or whatever. Yeah, he's pretty cool. Pretty cool guy. I met him at American Atheists convention recently. Wow,
And yet,
they're sending enemies over the border. I don't think they've done that at all. I built cannons all the way along my border. This entire time, they have not sent any enemies over the border or hit my cannons. Now they're doing it. It's
we can
crazy.
take care of that.
Yeah, I'm not too worried. I got him. But anyway, yeah.
Oh, it's a third player too.
The Skeptic is pretty cool. Gutsick Gibbon is pretty cool too. I know both of them. Got to meet them. It was pretty awesome.
Oh yeah, these guys have nothing built up. Like, look at this base.
Damn.
Like, nothing here. Well, he's in my way, so I'm going. I don't want him to drop stuff in my face.
Right? Okay, that works. Nice. I think we basically have the same setup, or pretty similar.
Oh, build a wall. I actually, every time someone jokes on Reddit about Canada doing something good, I always say I'm in Michigan. You can annex me, Johnson. I'm okay with that.
Right?
Like, please, just take me with you.
Oh, dude. Imagine what would happen if Canada tried to annex Michigan.
The problem is geographically it's not viable because there's
Right.
there's no actual land border. All of the crossings are over water.
Right.
So it's like you can't do anything to like the closest thing that could go they could take Maine, like if they really wanted to. Maine is available, but other than that, it's very difficult for them to do anything if they want to do something stupid like that.
Right.
Because it would be stupid because Canada's in terms of population.
Yeah, I do wish that the U.S. is a little bit more like Canada. That would be fantastic. Carrier has arrived. Their base is being revealed. Where is their base? I don't see any other parts.
I don't see blue. Oh, there's an expansion base up there.
Here's red.
I would say I had a red Protoss base, but it looked like an expansion base.
Oh yeah, this is their main base, I think. They were building a Stargate and stuff. There they go. We're meeting in the middle. Yep, that's an expansion too.
I missed the days of not having difficulty on the bots because I jump back. It's like, where should I go? I did the one where you're supposed to learn where everything is. Like, oh, very easy. Okay, that was nothing. Easy.
Right.
Well, that wasn't much better. So, all right, so they have a base somewhere. I'm gonna go on this side here.
Okay, I'll hit over here because I just hit like the top right. They're not there now. It must be in center or bottom right if they're on this side at all. And actually, I'm gonna send like a detachment down to the bottom.
Hey, I said attack move. Why aren't you killing that probe?
Oh, there you go. Perfect.
Yay.
Awesome. That was good timing, too. That was pretty fun. We should do this again one of these days. And if you're not familiar with co-op, we should absolutely do co-op, too. That co-op is the shit, dude. But anyways, yeah, it's been really fun. I appreciate you playing it with me.
And, I'm here most times because, like, your Sundays are... I'm putting the kid down at 8 o'clock for bedtime, so,
Right?
Sundays I get to listen to the whole thing, and Tuesdays and Thursdays I'm at work, so usually I have that.
Right? Well, we should definitely play another day. That was pretty cool. But anyway, we'll figure it out. I appreciate you coming on. Anything you want to say before we disconnect?
I mean, I could do the standard follow me or, just talk to me when you see me on Discord or whatever, but...
Go for it,
that's
yeah.
really about it. So, like, yeah, everything I have now is progress only, so whatever. Like,
Right.
I'm easy to find. It's a 0, not an O, so an aught 0. But that's about it, because that was something that we had when we were trying to find my username.
Right. Progress 0
I know.
LNY.
Yeah. But that's it, and I'm going to get back to work. Probably grab some Mickey D's, because I'm half.
All right. Sounds good. Well, thanks for playing with me. I will talk to you later on then, right?
Yep, sounds good. Thanks.
Yep.